Welcome back everyone, my name is Lu Hou, and this is the very first lecture of the traveling instruction. Now let's get started. First of all, I would like to ask you guys two questions. The first one is, what is travel? Travel is the movement of people between relatively distant geographical locations and can involve travel by foot, bicycle, automobile, train, boat, airplane, or other means, with or without luggage, and can be one-way or round trip. Travel can also include relatively short stays between successive movements. Reasons for traveling include recreation, tourism, or vacationing, research travel for the gathering of the information, for holiday to visit people, volunteer travel for charity, migration to begin life somewhere else, and other reasons, such as to obtain health care or fleeing war, or for the enjoyment of traveling. Travel may occur by human power transport, such as walking or bicycling, or with vehicles, such as public transport, automobiles, trains, and airplanes. Motives to travel include pleasure, relaxation, discovery, and exploration, getting to know other cultures, and taking personal time for building interpersonal relationships. For the second question, what can you gain from travel? Traveling can fulfill the needs for recuperation and compensate for physical and mental consumption. It satisfies people's needs for cultural life and their desire to learn, cultivate, and research. Through traveling, people enrich their own cultural experiences by gaining knowledge about foreign culture, people, and history. Next, the history of the development of tourism industry. As we see from the chart, the development of tourism has undergone three phases. The first phase is before 1841, which we named travel activity during the period as Grand Tour. Grand Tour is the traditional trip of Europe undertaken by mainly upper-class Europeans. The travel distance is not far, without the providence of professional touristic services. The need of traveling is to satisfy personal curiosity. The second phase to tourism development is between 1841 and 1950, known as modern tourism. Profit-oriented tourism services start to arise during this phase, and more importantly, professional touristic services are open to majority of people regardless of social classes. As a result, travel agencies start to emerge and thrive. While traveling become more and more popularized among people, tourism industry also become more and more professionalized. Nevertheless, traveling is still a high-priced activity for most individuals, and its size and its degree of dissemination is still limited. The third phase is after 1950. Along with the continual transportation evolution, technological revolution, and economic development, tourism has become a professional tertiary industry. The rights to travel and the places to travel have developed and expanded rapidly. Next, the condition of traveling that includes time, economic foundation, and motivation and desire. The key elements to be considered during travel involve three parts: transportation, accommodation, and necessity for life. For the accommodation, that always includes inn, hotel, and youth hotel that you can choose. The activity content of traveling could cover those sections: tour visit, board and lodging, shopping, photograph, observational study, or hiking. Now I would like to give you a very specific example that traveling in Beijing. Beijing is one of most visited destinations in China. It also has numerous attractions, but it is unnecessary to visit every attraction in Beijing for tourists. Which attractions are must-see and can represent Beijing? Great Wall and Forbidden City, of course, is on the list. Chairman Mao Zedong once said that he who doesn't reach the Great Wall is not a true man. This famous motto and its magnificence encourage more tourists to climb Great Wall. Forbidden City, the Chinese imperial palace from Ming Dynasty, have extensive collections of artworks and artifacts and other treasures. Besides these two sites, some other spots like Ming Tombs, Tiananmen Square, Summer Palace, and Temple of Heaven also highlight your trip. Here I give you an idea for the transportation costs traveling in Beijing. The round-trip airplane tickets from Canada to Beijing is around $920 to $2,000, and the subway tickets in Beijing is 2 RMB each time, and the train will cost you 150 to 300 RMB each time, and the starting taxi fare is 12 RMB each time. Finally, bus tickets is 1 RMB for one way, and the currency exchange between Canadian dollars and the Chinese yuan is $10 equals to 55 RMB. The best months to visit Beijing are May, June, September, and October, but in May and October, you should remember to avoid the national festival like May Day and National Day when there are 3 or 7 days holidays. Beijing will be very crowded with domestic tourists during these two holidays. Spring in Beijing falls in April and May. In April, the weather is changeable and sometimes sandstorms may happen. In May, it is warm and comfortable for traveling. Summer is not very long but hot. Autumn is a comfortable season when the leaves begin to turn yellow without the disturbance of summer heat and winter coldness. You can climb the fragrant hill and enjoy the beauty of red maple leaves. The 5-star scenic spots in Beijing you should visit that are include Badaling Great Wall, Ming Temples, Tiananmen Square, Forbidden City, Temple of Heaven, Summer Palace, Hutong, Lama Temple, and exterior view of Olympic Stadium. Next, I would like to introduce two famous scenic spots for you. The first one is the Great Wall. The Chinese Great Wall is the great construction in the history of human civilization. It was phrased as the eighth wonder of the world many years ago. The construction of the Great Wall began during the spring and autumn period to the Warring period. After unification of China by Qin Shi Huang ordered his people to build a new wall on the base of the original one in large scale. Subsequent dynasties continued to strengthen and extend the wall. The most part of the extended wall from Shanhai Guan to Bohai to Jiayu Guan in Gansu province were built by Ming Dynasty. The Great Wall is 7.8 meters high, 6.5 meters across at its base, and 5.8 meters at its top. There is a water tower rise to about 12 meters every 100 meters. Here I also provide you some travel tips that may be very helpful for you to use. That may include admission fee, open time, and how to get to. You can watch it after the lecture. Next, the Summer Palace. The Summer Palace, situated in the northwestern outskirts of Beijing, about 15 kilometers away from the downtown area of Beijing. As one of the foremost gardens of China, the Summer Palace is a grandest integral imperial garden. Therefore, it is phrased as the Royal Garden Museum. This former imperial garden, with an area of 1,290,000 square meters, contains about 3,000 hills, palaces, and gardens. The construction of the Summer Palace, once called Qingyi Yuan, began in 1750 and completed in 1764. Here I also provide you some travel tips that you can watch after the lecture. Now let's discuss the things to do in Beijing. First, you can stroll along Nanluogu Lane. Second, you can buy handicrafts in Panjiayuan Flea Market. Third, you can eat Beijing duck in Bianyifang or Quanjude. Nanluogu Lane is the funkiest hutong in Beijing, with a length of 800 meters. Nanluogu Lane is the best preserved hutong of Yuan dynasty. At night, people hustle and bustle around this hutong area. On the both sides of the line stand various kinds of shops and snack booths. It is also a third famous bar street after Sanlitun and Shichahai Bar Street in Beijing. It is very enjoyable to roam in the boutiques and souvenir shops and have a taste of Beijing snacks. Panjiayuan Flea Market is the most famous flea market, which sells antique stuff and other handicraft. About 60,000 to 70,000 people visit the market at weekend, and it once received thousands of foreign visitors. Even the leaders of other countries, like Hillary Clinton, had purchased here. In the past, real curios could be picked up here, but now it is hard to find a real antique. It still attracts many antique lovers to show their treasures. You can not only purchase various types of beautiful handicraft, but also explore the real old Beijing craft, the old stuff and stories. Besides numerous attractions, Beijing is also a culinary capital where authentic Beijing specialties like Peking duck, 炸酱面, fried liver, quick fried tripe, and so on. Peking duck or Beijing duck is best known for the thin and crispy skin, rich taste, and long history. The culinary of Peking duck can be dated back to Yuan dynasty, when it was a dish of imperial food. The foods conclude some ways and timing to eat Beijing duck. The duck is tasty palatable in spring, winter, and autumn. The authentic versions of dish should be served with more skin and little meat. Generally, it is eaten with pancakes, sweet bean sauce, and scallion. The sweet bean sauce is smeared on the pancakes, then slice of meat is put between the pancakes. 炸酱面 is a very popular dish in the North China. Beijing 炸酱面 stands out compared with it in other places. It is composed of such main materials as pork, handmade noodles, vegetable pieces, and soy sauce. The delicious 炸酱面 lies in the 炸酱, which is salty, fermented soybean paste stir-fried with ground pork. According to season, the various vegetable pieces are also served in the noodles. For Beijingers, especially the old, they are fond of hot noodles in winter or cold noodles in summer. Having taste of authentic 炸酱面 is indispensable for tourists in Beijing. As one of Beijing local snacks, fried liver is cooked with such raw materials as pork livers and intestines with garlic, starch, soy, bone soup, and others. So fried livers is not greasy but light. It is evaluated from fried long in Song dynasty. In the early time, it was eaten with baozi as a breakfast, but now fried liver is eaten at any time and with any other foods. Besides attractions and foods, Beijing is also home to different branded goods and various delicately designed souvenirs, which makes it a good getaway for shopping. In Xiushui Street, Wangfujing Commercial Street, Liulichang Street, Panjiayuan Antique Market, Xidan Commercial District, such must have like palace lantern, koisan, freshwater pearls, dual shaping, jet ware, antique furniture, well-preserved fruit are all available. By the end of the lecture, I list you the most helpful maps of Beijing, which include Beijing City Map, Beijing District Map, Beijing Transportation Map. All these maps are helpful and useful, and hope you have an easy Beijing tour. Thanks for today. Bye-bye.